Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever you're watching this. I'm Rudolphs and I've been doing e-com since 2023 and I was able to scale one of my brands from 11K all the way to 100K a month in a considerably short period of time. I would have been able to do this way quicker if I actually knew this piece of information, which I'm going to share with you, but I didn't and I had to find this out myself. So you don't have to go through the same bullshit I went through. You'll get all of the information, you can implement it into your own brand and actually scale to 100K a month way faster. What I'm talking about and what I'm going to be sharing in this video is basically talking about the different levels of winning ads. Now, when I started out and when I was at around 10, 30K a month, I thought that winning ad hit rate was all the same. If I had a 20%, maybe even a 30% winning ad hit rate, I thought I'm doing great. But then I looked at my revenue dashboard and it was looking similar to this. And it was because I was looking at all winning ads the same. When looking back at it, it makes so much sense because most of the winning ads that I called winning ads were actually maintenance ads. They were maintaining me at a certain level. And the more I kept optimizing around these ads, the more shit quality ads I started producing because these weren't the ads that were actually going to scale my ad account. These weren't the ads that were going to scale me to 100K a month. These were the exact ads that kept me at this level and didn't allow me to scale. And you are probably in a very similar death spiral. And this is not a place you want to be in because the longer you stay inside of this death spiral, the less and less and less your revenue is going to go down to. Okay, so let me actually quickly pan over and show you what I'll be covering in today's video. I'll go over the 4 different levels of winning ads. So this way you can identify, is this a level 1 winning ad? Is this a level 3 winning ad? Maybe even a level 4 winning ad, and you know exactly what you need to do with each level. Then once you understand these things, I'll also go in and show you how to track your winning ad hit rate. I'll give you the whole sheet totally for free. You don't need to make anything. The reason this is important, I'll cover later down in the video, but you want to be optimizing around level 4 winning ads if you actually want to scale, because these are the ads that are going to be adding revenue into your whole brand, like revenue that wasn't there beforehand. And if you stick around for long enough, I'll also go over exactly how to make the type of ads that will be able to go on and spend 5, 6, or even 7 figures profitably. And I won't just cover, oh, you need this exact format or that. No, I'll cover the exact 4 things that I've seen inside of my own ad accounts and also seen across brands that are doing 7 to 8 figures per month. I've talked to these brand owners day in and day out because I've helped them set up private processing and they were more than happy to share this with me, so I want to share it back with you as well. Now, let's get straight into it. As I already said, a lot of you will have a winning ad hit rate of 20%, 30, maybe 40%, but you simply can't scale. And then you ask yourself, well, why can't I scale? I have such a good winning ad hit rate. I simply can't scale. My revenue is staying at the same place month after month. And it's very simple. It's not that the Meta's algorithm sucks. It isn't that the market is too saturated. It's what I already told you. It's that you're looking at all winning ads the same. And I already covered why this is a bad thing. Because the longer you keep doing this and the longer you keep optimizing your processes around this one single winning ad hit rate, the more the quality of ads is going to decrease, okay? I hope you understand that. And when you start to optimize around the level 4 winning ads, you're actually going to notice how easy it is to scale because these ads are going to be adding new ad spend into your account, and these ads will be the ones that are actually scaling your brand, okay? And the reason why you want to be optimizing your processes around level 4 winning ads is because the more you optimize your processes around making these ads, the more you're going to be able to scale. I hope it's very simple to understand, and you'll understand why there's such high revenue increases later down the video when I start to explain the level 4 winning ads and what they identify with. So without wasting any more time, let's go over the 4 different levels of winning ads. The first level is going to be ads that meet your KPIs, but they simply can't last for more than a week. And the issue here is that most of you are actually optimizing for these ads because most of your winning ads are going to be either level 1 or level 2 ads, which are maintenance ads. These ads add nothing into your ad account. All that they do is maintain you at a certain ad spend, okay? So do not optimize around level 1 ads. I hope you understand that. Let's move forward. Now, before I move forward, I do want to cover KPIs because KPIs still matter on every other level of winning ads because they're still going to be the first thing that identifies if this ad is actually a winning ad or not. And then there are other criteria that if they're meeting these criteria, then they're a level 2 or a level 3 winning ad. If you don't know what KPIs are key performance indicators. Your KPIs are going to be split into 2 different sections, your front end and your back end KPIs. Front-end KPIs cover everything that is on the ad side. So your cost per click, your click-through rate, hook rate, hold rate, click-through rate all, your frequency, etc. And then your backend KPIs is basically everything that's happening on the funnel side. The reason I split these into two different sections, and a lot of people also split them into two different sections, is because this way you can actually identify where the problem is coming from. For example, if the conversion rate is low, you can simply look at, okay, what is actually happening? What is my add to cart rate? What is my add to cart to purchase rate? Maybe my copy sucks. Maybe my funnel is simply ass. Or maybe I'm just sending low quality traffic into my funnel, okay? So this is the reason why I wanna be looking at my KPIs in two different sections. So let's actually start with the front end KPIs. So your cost per link click. Cost per link click is going to be basically the indicator for your whole ad account. If your cost per link click is too high, your ads are simply ass. You need to improve them. And to improve them, you need to look at other metrics down the line to see what is actually causing your cost per link click to be so high. It could be that the hook is simply targeting the complete wrong audience. Maybe it's too broad. Maybe it's too narrow. Now, the KPI here for your cost per link click entirely depends on which market you're actually selling in. So if you're selling inside of US, you want to be seeing your cost per link click no more than $1.5, okay? $1.5 is the maximum you want to be seeing here. If it's too high, then your ads are too shit, okay? I know this might be a harsh KPI to look at, but holding yourself to a high standard also lets you improve your overall skill sets, okay? Then if I'm selling inside of the big five, I want to be seeing between $1 and $1.3 for my cost per link click. And finally, if I'm selling anywhere else that is not inside of the big five, so for example, Europe or any other market that I could be targeting, I want to be below $1. Then your click-through rate for link clicks. It's basically split into two different sections. If you are running very direct response focused ads, so ads that are being very direct, they're actually selling the product within the ad itself, you want to be above 3% click-through rate. However, for the ads that are simply not that direct, so ads that are more curiosity based, so these could be native ads or any other type of ad that is simply not being that direct, for these ads, the minimum is 5%. For your hook rate, you want to be above 50%. For your hold rate, you want to be above 25%. And for your click-through rate all, you want to be above 10%. Click-through rate all, this only matters for native ads. If you're not running native ads, don't even look at this metric. It's not going to give you anything. And the final KPI inside of your ad side is going to be frequency. So your frequency for cold traffic on a weekly basis should not exceed 1.5. If on a weekly basis this exceeds 1.5, you either are selling to a very small market or Meta simply is starting to retarget the same people it hit beforehand. So what you want to do is you want to put exclusions onto your testing ad sets. On the backend side, your conversion rate is basically split into three different tiers. So depending on the price that you are at. So if you're selling anything between $20 and $30, you want to be at 5% conversion rate. So anything above 5% is good. If you're selling anything between $30 and $90, you want to be at around 4%. And if you're selling anything that is $90 and more, you want to be looking at least at a 3% conversion rate. Your conversion rate is basically the cost per link click for your backend. So your cost per link click is the indicator for the front end side that something is broken, and your conversion rate is the indicator that something is broken on the funnel side. The add to cart rate. Now, the rule of thumb here is you always want to be above 10%. What I mean by 10% is out of all of the people that land on your first landing page, either it is a listicle, advertorial, quiz funnel, VSL, sales page, product page, I don't give a fuck. Out of all of the people that land here, how many of those people actually add your product to the cart? That's the number I'm looking at here. I'm not looking at all the people that visited my product page or the sales funnel. I'm looking at all of the people that visited the first landing page. That's what you need to focus on. So if your add to cart rate is below 10%, what can you do? What could be causing this specific issue? It can be a couple of different things. The first issue could be that there's simply no perceived value and the price is too high. Or it could be that your funnel simply sucks, or maybe your copy sucks. Or the last thing that it could be that basically you're sending low quality traffic from your ads into your actual funnel, which is causing you to have very low add to cart rate. So people are just browsing around, they're not actually intending to buy anything. What you want to look at here is you're going to be your click-through rate. You want to make sure that you're actually doing direct response ads. That's the fix for that. Now, there are two other scenarios for your add to cart rate that I want to add here. First one is going to be if you're selling a product that is in the impulse purchase price range and it is very easily understandable. So this is not a supplement. This could be whatever type of gadget that's very very easily understood inside of the ad itself, then you want to be looking at 20% add to cart rate. This is for EU though. For US, you want to be at around 15%. Okay, the KPI for average order value is usually going to be 2x your front end price. What does this mean? If you're selling a product on the front end for $40, you want to have an AOV of around $80. Reason for this is because a lot of your competitors will have a 10%, 20 or 30% higher AOV than their front end price, which means if you're able to get a 2x of your front end price for your AOV, you're going to be able to outcompete every single one of them by simply having better unit economics. Now, how can you get here? You can get here by having one-click add-ons in your cart, one-click add-ons into your checkout, order bumps like shipping protection, warranty, whatever the fuck you want to put inside of there. And then a large portion is going to depend on your upsell flow. I can cover the upsell flow in a different video, but essentially if your front end price is $40, then you can sell something for $200 inside of your upsell flow very easily and still get a 10% take rate. And if you're able to achieve a 10% take rate, you're going to be able to add $20 to your average order value. Just like that, you're instantly at a $60 AOV if you do nothing on the front end. So you want to have bundles, you want to have one-click add-ons, and you also want to have a good upsell flow. Let's move on to the add to cart to purchase rate. Add to cart to purchase rate, this is overlooked by a lot of people. It basically means out of all of the people that land on your checkout, how many of these people actually complete a purchase? My KPI for here is going to be at least 30%, meaning out of 100 people that land on my checkout, I want at least 30 of them to actually complete the purchase. If it is below 30%, it could be that there's some kind of an error inside of your checkout. It could be that the mids are not working. It could be that the payment processor has very shit authorization rates. Maybe the functionality is not working. So go and check it. It's the easiest way to fix this problem is placing a test order inside of your funnel. Send it to your friends, send it to your mom, send it to your dad, whatever you can do. Send it to them and make them purchase the product. This way, you're actually going to see if everything is working fine on that end. If everything is fine on the error side, so there are no errors, the checkout is working perfectly fine, but you're still below 30%. What could it be? It's usually going to be either that there is no urgency. So they're seeing a product for 50 bucks and they're like, okay, maybe I'll buy this later. They never do because they get distracted, they start scrolling Instagram and they end up buying something else from a competitor. You always need to have some kind of urgency elements inside of your checkout. Second thing could be trust. Maybe people simply don't trust your checkout. Maybe people don't trust your brand. So add testimonials, add social proof inside of your checkout. Add a FAQ section at the bottom of your checkout if you actually can. This is why I always recommend people to be on a CRM because this allows you to add an FAQ section inside of your checkout. It's not actually going to be a checkout at that point, it's an order page, but we can cover this later. The last thing I want to go over is going to be your customer acquisition cost. So your customer acquisition cost or your CAC should always be no more than half of your actual AOV. If you're selling at $40 and your AOV is $80, then your customer acquisition cost, the maximum you want to be at, should be $40. Obviously, this is not going to work for all people. It entirely depends on your actual unit economics. Go and calculate them and come up with your break-even customer acquisition cost and then set a target based on that, on what kind of profit margins you actually want. That's everything on the KPIs. So let's actually keep moving forward and move on to level 2. So level 2 ads are going to be very similar to level 1 ads. The only difference here is that they are actually lasting for more than a week. So they meet your KPIs, they're lasting for more than a week, and the longer they're able to stay at your KPIs, the more winning the ad actually is. Most of your ads are going to be level 1 and level 2 ads. You do not want to be optimizing around these type of ads. What you should be doing with level 1 and level 2 ads is instead of optimizing around these, you should be analyzing them and trying to figure out what was the thing that held these ads back from actually becoming level 3 or level 4 winning ads. Maybe it was the avatar that you targeted. Maybe it was the messaging. Maybe you were being too vague in the hook. Whatever it is, figure it out and make better ads. Obviously, don't spend all of your time on making reiterations on your level 1 and level 2 ads. Just spend like 5% of your actual effort on this because most of the money is going to be made on level 3 and level 4 ads. So let's actually move on to level 3 ads right away. Level 3 ads are going to be very similar to level 2 ads. There is just one simple differentiation that actually make these ads perform better, which is spend percentage. What I mean by spend percentage is they still meet your KPIs, they're still lasting for more than a week at your KPIs, and they also take majority of your ad spend. So depending on what type of campaign you're actually testing inside of, whether a ABO or a CBO, if you're testing inside of an ABO, you're going to be looking at what is the percentage of total ad spend this specific ad took on that specific day, okay? Hopefully you understand that that is for the whole ad account. Then if you're testing inside of a CBO, you're gonna be looking at the whole CBO's budget. You're not gonna look at the whole ad account's budget. You're only looking at the CBO's budget and what is the percentage that it took from the total CBO's budget for that specific day. What you wanna be doing with these ads, this is where you're actually going to start iterating on these ads. The reason you wanna iterate on level 3 ads is because whenever you have an ad that is taking 80% of your ad account spend, you usually don't want to be piggybacking off of just one ad, because at one point it's going to stop performing. And what the fuck do you do then? You're back at zero. You want to be making iterations so you can diversify spend. You're going to be splitting up that specific winning message across different formats, different awareness levels, testing different characters, maybe even going into a different avatar. Whatever it is, test these things and you're going to be able to split your actual ad spend and diversify it across different ads. So even if the original ad stops performing, your ad account is still fine and it's still spending money profitably because you have more iterations. Let's move on to the creme de la creme, which is level 4 winning ads. And level 4 ads are still going to meet your KPIs. They're still going to last for more than a week. They're still going to usually take majority of your spend, but they're going to be able to add net new ad spend into your ad account. Now, what do I mean by they're going to be able to add net new ad spend? It's a very simple explanation. If you add ad spend that was never inside of the ad account, so if you were at 500 a day for that specific ad account and you add in $200 more, now this ad is going to be able to consume that money while still maintaining KPIs. Because a lot of the times when you add more spend into the account, the ad is simply not going to take it, or it is going to take it, but your KPIs are going to drop. So you always want to be making sure that you're optimizing around level 4 ads, because these ads are going to be able to take on that ad spend while still meeting your KPIs, and they'll be able to run for a long time. Now, what you should be doing with these type of ads whenever you find them, you want to be breaking them down until the structure. The reason for this is because there is something within this ad, whether it's the hook, whether it's the avatar you targeted, whether it's the messaging structure, whether it's the format, whatever the fuck it is. Inside of this ad, there's something that identifies with the ad performing well, and you want to find that specific thing and extract it. Once you extract it, that is going to be your winning variable, because now, essentially what you can do is you can take this exact winning variable, and a very sneaky thing that I usually do is I add it onto my level 3 ads. And a lot of the times, these ads will also become level 4 winning ads because they are still on the same exact winning variable. Now, once you actually have multiple level 4 winning ads, that's where the fun begins. That's where you actually scale to this type of situation where you're actually scaling month after month. So basically, whenever you have 2 different level 4 winning ads that each have different winning variables that identify with the ad performing well, you're going to extract these variables and you're going to stack them on top of each other, and then you're going to make a batch of ads using these winning variables. These ads will likely perform insanely well, way better than original level 4 winning ads, because now they're stacking 2 things that actually made these ads perform in the first place. And it's not just going to be a 20% increase, it will be a 2x increase on your whole performance. Now, as I already said at the start of the video, if you're actually listening, then you want to be optimizing around level 4 ads, because once you start optimizing your processes around these type of ads, you're actually going to be able to improve your own processes and your team's performance, because they're going to be able to make more of these ads as time goes on. There's some people that will only be making a couple ads a week, but because they're able to make level 4 ads, they don't need to make more. They don't need to be making 400 ads a week, because they're able to actually have a high hit rate for level 4 ads, okay? That is why optimizing around level 4 winning ads is what you actually want to do. Now, let's move on to how to track your winning ad hit rate. You'll have a sheet exactly like this. If you want this sheet, go to my Instagram at Rudolf Stakmanis and DM me the word level 4 all together, and I'll send you the sheet totally for free. You don't need to make it yourself. Now, you'll basically have a section for all of your ads, so all of the ad names inside of here. Then the next section will be for the type of ads. So you'll have static ads, video ads, carousel ads. You can add all the different type of ads that you're running, native ads, AI video ads, AI VSLs, AI authority VSLs, whatever it is, add these type of ads inside of here. Then you're going to have statuses. So there are going to be a couple of different statuses. There's going to be draft. So basically all the ads that are not yet launched. Then once you launch an ad, you're going to put it on testing, which is the second status, and you're going to leave the testing status on this specific ad for at least 7 days, and then come back after 7 days and put it to live, which is the third status. And once you have put it on live, then you go over to the results tab, and this is when you actually put what type of ad is it. Is it a losing ad? Is it a level 1 winning ad, level 3, level 4, whatever the level it is, okay? You add it here, and then you're going to have a place where you can link all of your docs. So what you're going to be putting inside of these docs entirely depends on which level you are actually looking at. If you're looking at level 1 or level 2 ads, you want to be putting in what is the thing that held these ads back from actually becoming level 3 or level 4 ads. You don't want to be learning from these ads. These ads mean nothing in the grand scheme of things. Then level 3 ads, here you're going to be putting in what type of iterations you're going to be making, why you want to make these iterations, and why do you think these iterations will actually help you scale and maybe get even to a level 4 winning ad. For the level 4 winning ads, you'll usually have the largest doc out of all of them because you're going to be breaking it down till the structure. You want to have the exact structure of the video, what was the format of the video, what was shown at which specific moment, what was the messaging structure you used, what was the angle that you used, what was the avatar you targeted, what was the hook that you used, what was the character inside of the video. All of these things go inside of here, and then you pull out the winning variable. Once you have the winning variable, then you can use this winning variable to make new batches of ads, etc. And the reason you want to have these docs inside of this sheet is because whenever you or someone from your team is going to be looking at the calculations here, you want to be able to identify why these things are happening. So for example, you or someone from your team looks at the calculations here, and you see that, oh, okay, well, most of the ads that I'm making are level 2 winning ads. What can I do to actually start making more level 3 or level 4 winning ads? And then you simply look at all of the level 2 winning ad docs, you look at what you should have done differently, and you start testing these things. And then you also look at level 3 and level 4 docs to see what actually identifies with these ads becoming level 3 or level 4 ads. So this way you can keep making more of them, okay? Now, a little bit about how this calculation sheet works. So here you'll basically have for the number of ads, it only counts the ads that have the status live. If it has draft or testing, it does not count it here. Once an ad has been live for 7 days, always put it from testing to live. Once it's live, then it's going to account here, and then you want to put the result of the ad. And then it's simply going to calculate the percentage of the number of ads that are live, how many of these ads on a percentage basis are losing ads or level 1, level 3, level 4 winning ads. And you always want to be focusing on making more level 4 ads. I hope that you understand that. If you want to have this sheet and you don't want to make it yourself, I already have it pre-made. I use it myself. You can go to my Instagram at Rudolf Stakmanis and DM me the word level 4 all together, and I'll send you the sheet over whenever I have some time. If you're still here, as a massive thank you, I actually want to also show you how to make these level 4 winning ads. And level 4 winning ads are basically, as I already mentioned at the start of the video, these are going to be the ads that will spend 5, 6, 7 figures profitably for a long period of time. And I'll cover the 4 different things that I've seen myself inside of my ad account and what usually identifies with these ads becoming level 4 ads, what's usually at the core, at the foundation of being able to create these ads. The first thing is going to be a large TAM, so a large total addressable market. Basically, your TAM consists of what you sell and where you sell it. What you sell determines who you can sell it to, and where you sell determines how many of those who you can sell it to actually exist inside of this market. Now, a mistake a lot of you make is going too broad. You think you need a massive TAM, so you go and you target the whole tooth care industry. You think, okay, I'm going to target everyone in the world, and you end up competing against brands like Colgate, and you end up selling nothing because you're simply noise in the background. You're gonna get skipped over instantly. How can you actually stand out while still having a large TAM? This is where sub-niches become gold, okay? You do not want to enter markets that are going to have already established brands with the authority position. So that is why sub-niches exist. That's why sub-niches are gold. And I use this specific formula whenever I'm trying to scale. I'll go over it in a second. So let's just say, for example purposes, you have a brand that is in the oral care niche, and you don't want to be competing against brands like Colgate because these brands already own the authority position within that specific specific market. And the thing about authority position is whenever a brand owns it, it's basically impossible to overthrow that specific authority position because these brands are already established. They're household names within that niche. So what you want to do is you want to look at sub niches. For example, you could sell to people who still have a bad breath, no matter how many times they brush their teeth. They maybe brush their teeth 2 or 3 times a day. They use these tongue scrapers, whatever they do, their breath still stinks. You could come up with the root cause of this isn't that you're actually having bad oral care. It's that your gut or something within your stomach is actually causing your breath to smell bad, which is coming from the inside. So you need prebiotics and probiotics to solve that. Maybe it absorbs into your tongue, maybe you use some kind of supplement, whatever it is. This is a sub niche you can enter into and still have a very large TAM because you're essentially targeting all people who have bad breath. And it's a very painful problem, both for their confidence in their day-to-day life, because everyone around them notices it. And it's a horrible thing to have. So this is a good sub-niche you can go into and actually scale. So the reason that I'm actually even talking about the large TAM and the different sub-niches is because this is the formula every single big brand uses whenever they're trying to scale inside of a new market. Nowadays, a good quality product is not going to actually allow you to scale. Everyone can have the best possible product. They can go to ChatGPT, type up a simple prompt that will spit out the best quality specs for your product. You can send it to your manufacturer and you'll have the best quality product. So product quality isn't something that you can compete on anymore. While you still want to have good quality products, you can't just hope that having a good quality product is going to save you. What you want to do instead is you want to be looking for purple oceans. So entering into sub niches that other brands are overlooking. For example, as I already said here, selling to people who still have a bad breath no matter how much they brush their teeth. Not many brands, if any brands, are actually targeting this specific sub niche. The way that you would do this, the way that you'd scale to massive numbers is by entering into a sub niche, scaling inside of that sub niche by targeting different avatars and becoming a go-to brand for that specific sub niche and that specific problem. You want to become the household name inside of that specific sub niche because Colgate will still be the household name and the authority position inside the oral care niche, but now you own the sub niche within their bigger niche. You're already taking up market share that they were overlooking. And also another reason why you want to have the authority position within a market is because once you own the authority position, your ads become less and less relevant because the people who buy your product, they'll be so happy with you. You finally solved their problem that no one was actually solving for them beforehand. They're finally happy. They're finally confident. They're going to be talking to their friends. Their friends are going to notice it, and more people are going to start buying your product without doing any top of funnel marketing at all, because word of mouth is basically going to be your top of funnel marketing, and your bottom of funnel audience will simply keep growing the more and more you start to scale. And that's why brands like Space Goods, for example, they own the authority position within that specific niche. And that is why their ads don't matter that much. If you look at their ads are actually not that great. Most of their ads are low quality. And that's why I wanted to make this example of why you want to be owning the authority position within a sub niche. Now, once you actually want to scale further, keep in mind, once you are entering into a sub niche and you scale it through different avatars, you're already going to be doing multiple 6 figures a month. And if you want to enter into a new sub niche to keep scaling, the way that you do this is by using new angles. And what you can do here is just keep repeating it over and over and over again, and you're going to keep scaling more and more and more. All that you'll need here is different unique mechanisms of the problem and the unique mechanisms of the solution that logically tie into the product, okay? Logically tie into the product. That's a very important point. Now, the second thing that's usually behind ads that are able to scale to 6 figures profitably is going to be your price and a funnel. So an impulse purchase price point and a short funnel. Now, first, let's touch on the impulse purchase price point. Anything that's below $100 is an impulse purchase. If you do not agree with me, I'll give you an example showing exactly why you're wrong. But just so I can explain it so you understand why I think this way, is because an impulse purchase basically combines of 2 different things, your price and your perceived value. As long as your perceived value is higher than your price point, it's still going to be an impulse purchase. The reason why I don't go above $100 here is because then there's another objection. Maybe people don't have the money to spend right now. That's why I usually want to be staying below $100 when you're actually pricing your offer. Now, if you still do not believe me, and if you still do not agree with me, let me give you a quick example that is going to change your mind on this. Disclaimer, do not use this angle, do not use this product, do not sell to these people. It's completely unethical. And if your product actually doesn't solve this, you're basically doing black hat and you will get into a lot of legal issues. I do not recommend you to do this. I'm not telling you to do this. This is all for example purposes. So say your product is priced at around 100 USD and you're selling a product that solves cancer. If anyone who has cancer lands on your landing page, they're going to buy it without thinking twice, because what is on the other side of not purchasing your product? It's more expensive treatments and a very high possibility of death, okay? So they're going to spend 100 USD without thinking twice, and it's going to be an impulse purchase for these people because solving cancer is the most important part for them at that specific moment. I understand a lot of you won't be selling products that are solving such a big, massive pain. So the way that you can increase your perceived value here is by having better copy that actually talks to your audience and explains them why this is important, why it's important to solve now, and why if you keep having this specific issue, it's going to keep getting worse and worse as time goes on. And also, you want to have bundles. You want to have maybe a free gift inside of your bundle that solves an objection and not just adds more items to your actual order. Your free gifts should be solving objections, not adding items to the order. I hope you understand that. That is the way that you can increase perceived value. Now, the second thing inside of this point is short funnels. The reason most of the ads that will go on to spend a lot of money profitably will usually have short funnels is because every single step within your funnel is a drop-off point for people. So if you're spending a lot of money and if you want to be profitable on actually acquiring customers at scale at a decent cost per acquisition, you want to have as little points of drop-off as possible. Because if you're, for example, sending people to a quiz funnel for a top of funnel audience, what's going to happen is there's going to be a ton of drop-off, when in reality, you could have just sent them to a landing page. What is a landing page in this specific scenario? Landing pages that could be inside of your short funnel are going to be listicles, advertorials, sales pages, or product pages. You're not going to be running VSLs or quiz funnels. You're actually going to be running listicles, advertorials, sales pages, or product pages. Let me actually explain something very quickly. As you can see here, if someone goes on a listicle, they wouldn't actually be pushed to a sales page like most of the time it is. They'll be pushed straight to the order page. Before going over what is the order page, what's the difference between order pages and checkouts, let me quickly explain why. So let's just say in this specific scenario, we are sending people to a listicle. People are going to read through your listicle, and at the bottom, you'll usually have something like stock is running low, check availability, and then you're going to push people to the order page. The reason you're going to push them to the order page and instead of the sales page is because the order page is going to do the exact same job as a sales page, but it removes the whole step in between them. And that is huge for not having a lot of drop off. So how do order pages look? What is an order page? What's the difference between an order page and a checkout? A checkout is basically going to be what you usually see on Shopify. You'll collect the customer's contact information, you'll collect their shipping information, and then you'll also collect the payment details. And then they'll basically have some kind of order summary and have the buy button. That's basically what a checkout looks like. It's bare bones. It does not convert cold traffic as well as order pages. So order pages usually are something like this. So basically, this is the above the fold section on the PC view. Whenever someone lands on the order page without scrolling down, this is exactly what they see. The way that it would look like is you'd have your logo around here, contact information, whatever else you want to put here, and then you'd have some kind of a banner that is showing the offer that you're currently running, and then you would have a slideshow of images or just a single image. The reason for these images is to add social proof, remove objections, and simply push people closer to actually buying the product. Then you're going to also have bullet points doing the exact same thing and building on top of those images. And then you're simply going to have an urgency element around here. Now, once they scroll down after the above the fold section, that's where you actually collect the customer information, you collect their payment information, and then you have the buy button here. You'll also have testimonials here, and you'll also have a whole FAQ section at the bottom here. So this is what an order page usually looks like. And as you can see, it's way more advanced than just a simple checkout. And these things convert cold traffic way better, and that's why you are going to be running order pages on short funnels. Now, because you're running a short funnel and you don't have a lot of places to increase your average order value, you're going to want to have a good upsell flow. If you don't know how these things work, whenever someone places an order, they don't get sent straight to the thank you page. They get sent straight to the OTO1, which is basically your one-time offer number one, or in simple terms, your first upsell. These ones ones will usually have the highest take rate out of all of them. So you want to be pushing up the price as much as you can on these. You want to have some kind of VSL, maybe an MSL, which would just be long form copy to actually get these people to convert and buy more. Now, I won't go into what you should be selling inside of these upsells because it becomes very complicated, and I can make a video on this in the future. If you want to see a video on the upsell flow, increasing your AOV, comment it below and maybe I will make it. Basically, your upsell flow will work like this. You'll have your one-time offer 1, your one-time offer 2. If someone clicks no on this one, they get brought to a downsell, which will usually have a 50% discount, and then they get brought to the OTO2 no matter what they click here. If they click yes on this, they move to the thank you page. If they click no, they get brought to your downsell number 2, which will again have a 50% discount, and then they get brought to the thank you page. That's basically everything on the short funnel side. Let's actually move on to the third thing. Now you understand that you need a large TAM. So you want to be going into sub niches. You understand the whole formula of scaling within sub niches. You also understand that you want to be at an impulse purchase price point. So nothing above $100. You also understand that you need a short funnel. What is the third thing that you need to have behind your ads in order to actually scale them up to 5, 6, or 7 figures and spend profitably? It's going to be having your product shown later. And the problem with actually revealing the product too early is that people don't get on social media to watch ads. They don't get on social media to spend money or to buy something. They get on there to be entertained. They want to be entertained and they want to be scrolling. And in reality, you're not actually competing against other brands for attention. In today's day and age, sadly, you're actually competing against rage bait political content, clickbait influencers, and OnlyFans models. That's why if you show your product at the start of the ad, people are going to have ad blindness and they'll simply keep scrolling because they want to keep watching. They want to keep being entertained. How can you actually avoid this? This is avoided by pushing the product reveal towards the end. You get them invested first and then you start selling to them. So how can you actually do this? You're going to lead with curiosity, drama, or controversy. And when you actually do this, you'll be able to bring in a way larger audience inside of your ad, which will lead to way more people going into your funnel and which will mean more scale. Let me actually give you 2 reasons why you want to be showing the product later down in the ad. The first thing is exactly what I just covered. When you lead with your product inside of the first frame of the video, you're only going to be able to get so many people to watch your ads. But when you are leading with curiosity, drama, or controversy, you're going to be able to get so many more people that are still exactly your right avatar, because these people are also wanting to be entertained. They don't just want to buy. If you're able to entertain them, if you're able to get them into a subconscious state of mind where they're just simply watching, they're not thinking too much, they're just letting their subconscious brain make decisions for them, you're gonna be able to sell to them. And that's exactly what brings me into point number 2. Whenever you get people to watch your ad for a longer period of time, you're actually allowing your copy to do its job. You're usually gonna be using some kind of direct response strategies. And for these strategies to work, you need them to consume the content, you need them to hear the copy, you need them to see the visuals attached to that copy, okay? And showing your product later allows you to use a common strategy like this one, which is basically going to be the down, up, down strategy. And this copywriting strategy is one of the best converting copywriting strategies that I have personally ever used. And it basically goes like this. If you're targeting people who have pain, fear, anger, guilt, whatever it is, you want to meet them exactly where they are at right now. So you're going to start your ad exactly where they are. You're not gonna start your ad with, oh, here's a flashy new product, this is going to make you happy. No, they are in fear, they're in pain, they maybe feel some kind of guilt. You wanna meet them exactly where they are, because when people are in these states, their mind is thinking subconsciously. And here's exactly why this matters, is because whenever you meet them somewhere around here, where they are currently at, fear, pain, guilt, anger, whatever it is, you wanna bring them to the place where they want to be, where they aspire to be, where they desire to be. Maybe it is no more pain. Maybe it is finally being happy, finally being able to walk with their kids, finally seeing their dog play around again, okay? Whatever it is, you want to bring them to where they want to be. So you want to bring them here. And the issue here is most of the people will go and introduce their product right here, because they think, okay, I'm going to associate my product with this exact state. Sure, it makes sense in theory, but in reality, what happens is whenever someone is already subconsciously at the place where they desire to be, they're not going to buy your product. It is like selling an info product to people who are incredibly rich on how to get rich, okay? It doesn't make sense, right? They're subconsciously already there. They don't need the product. And that is exactly why it's called the down, up, down strategy, because you're bringing them back to where they are currently. once they're back down to reality, they are going to feel their specific situation way more intensely than they did beforehand. And that is why you bring them on this journey, because now their brain wants to get back here and they'll do anything just to get there because it felt so good. It felt like everything was solved again. And finally they were where they desire to be. And because these people are thinking subconsciously, their brain is going to grab on to the nearest solution that will get them to where they want to be again. And this is exactly where you introduce the product. And this will scale you incredibly well. And if you were to show your product at this early stage of this ad, they would have skipped. 99% of people would have skipped and maybe 1% of people would have actually stayed. And because you didn't show the product here at the start and you actually started with curiosity, drama, controversy, and you met people where they are currently while still entertaining them, more people stayed and more people will convert. That's why showing your product later is a must have thing inside of your ads. You must show your product later on your top of funnel ads or you will be stuck. Now, the fourth and final thing here is going to be engagement management. Now, I know a lot of you might be thinking, what the fuck is engagement management? And it's a very important thing because whenever you are actually starting to scale, whenever your ads start to reach like 5 to 10K likes, it instantly becomes FOMO. And people are gonna buy purely out of FOMO. They're gonna stick around and watch your ad for longer because there's so many likes on that ad. And they will see their friends, their family members, their colleagues have liked this ad. So they'll watch it. They'll see, why did everyone like this ad? Maybe I'll watch it as well. So that is why you need to be managing your engagement. So how can you actually do it? There are two different things. You're going to be farming comments and you're going to be managing comments. Farming comments is something that Luke Belmar covered a long time ago. If you don't remember what he said, it goes like this. For example, you're selling a product that solves knee pain. What you're going to do is you're going to go on a burner profile of some kind of a woman and you're going to type something like, my knees hurt so much, I can't walk with my kids, I can't play with my kids, it's agony, they hurt so much, please someone help me, I don't know what to do, I don't want to go to the doctor, I don't want to have surgery, I'm scared of surgery, whatever it is. And then you're going to go on another burner profile and you're going to comment something along the lines of, what are you complaining about? It's not even that bad, get over it. And what's going to happen is people will see it and they'll feel such a strong emotion within themselves that they simply won't be able to help themselves but to comment a reply under your post. That is exactly how you start farming comments and how you start building up more and more comments. Once you get to around 1K a day in spend for a specific ad, there will be a ton of comments and there will be split into two different sections. They're going to be positive comments and they're going to be negative comments. For positive comments, what you want to do is simply go and reply to all of them. You want to sit there, reply to all of the positive comments. You can get a VA to do it, whatever it is. Just get someone to reply to all of your positive comments. And for the negative comments, all that is left to do here is simply delete them or hide them. That's it. Because whenever someone sees your ad who's skeptical, they see, oh, 5 to 10K likes. I've seen my friends like this post. I see some of them even commented and the brand responded, this seems like a legit brand. There's no negative comments inside of here. Okay, let me actually pay attention to this. And that's basically the last thing here. That's why engagement management matters, because if you're not doing engagement management, you're never really going to be able to get to a lot of spend behind your ads because there's going to be so many negative comments, there's going to be so many positive comments, and it's just going to be a mess. So you want to have a clean comment section, you want to have a lot of likes, you want to be farming your comments, etc. So that's basically it. Okay, that's exactly how you should be making level 4 winning ads. What is behind them, the 4 foundational things behind level 4 ads, so you can actually start implementing this yourself. If you already didn't go to my Instagram, you can go to my Instagram at Rudolf Stakmanis and DM me the word level 4 with no spaces, and I'll send you over the sheet so you can actually start tracking your winning ad hit rate. Also, if you didn't already, go and take a screenshot of this for your key performance indicators, write them down, do whatever you want with them, use them to your advantage. So thank you for watching. If you have anything else you want to see in future videos, if you have any questions, comment it down below. I'll respond to you whenever I have a moment, and yeah, peace.